Hey there, you didn't come for this, but you did come for this. The Peak 3L. It's a smaller version of the Peak Sling bag, and I'm going to go over the subtle differences of each bag, other than the size. We see that both bags have a little strap where you can attach your Peak clip. However, this 3L has it on both sides. If you're right-handed or left-handed or right-shouldered or left-shouldered, it doesn't matter much. You can sling it either way and it'll work out fine. Another difference I've noticed is that this locking mechanism is no longer there. So you could hook around this notch down here and back to itself, and you have a protective system. With the 3L, it doesn't exist. It's not too big of a deal. I have a clip that I use from time to time on my travels. The front pockets are the same. They're essentially useless. I mean, you could barely put anything in. Even your wallet would be too thick to fit in there. Moving on to the compartments. The Peak 3L has a little stretchy thing right here. A webbing that keeps items from falling out. You can see it here. It's a slightly different design from the 5L. The 5L, I never had trouble with stuff falling out, but I do like this design. It's better. It gives you better peace of mind in case something actually does fall out. And I guess it's possible if you have a top-heavy setup with a long skinny lens. Another thing I noticed is that this flap back here doesn't exist for this 3L, whereas this has a little flap with a magnetic attachment here. So it's convenient when I put the dividers in, because you see I only have one divider here even though it has two. So I like having the divider back here or a Pro Pad that I keep back there, and this one does not have it due to its size. This side pocket had like a pull thing, which I didn't find very useful. This one does not. They did away with it. It's a cleaner look. And I have a variable ND in here. Sizing. The 5L can fit a whole lot of gear in here. Well, not a lot, but it can fit a standard, much bigger standard lens than this. Standing up, I don't think this will fit with the camera and lens, so I have to put it sideways. Sideways seems like the best fit for it. So a lens like the 85, 1.8, 24G Master, Tamron 17 to 28, Zeiss 24-70, something around that range would work. Once you get larger, you're going to have problems fitting gear inside. Okay, now we'll try to fit the actual gear. Here's a 17 to 28, the Tamron 17 to 28. The fit is already fairly tight. Oh, right. It's fairly tight because I have this remote, which should be put on the side. You see that this bag is just really tight in general. There you go. You have a 17 to 28 and an 85 millimeter f1.8. That's a combo I like. Very high quality. Well, this 5L, I can fit the A7 III with this Tamron 20 to 75 mounted. That's as big as it'll get in here. It's a nice roomy bag, but I kind of like this smaller form factor. It's just a little bit smaller, and it's just generally a little bit better made in my opinion. If you look at the straps, you have this strap system over here. It doesn't work as well as this one. This one clicks into place and unlocks, moves around freely, and you lock it back up. and when there's tension, it doesn't move at all. So I like this newer system a lot better than this older system of the 5L. This thing occasionally slips on you when you walk on some weird angle, or the bag just slings at some weird angle. It does slip on you a little bit. The top handles, the older 5L had the leather trim. The newer has the ash gray trim, which is the same as the cover. Here's a side view of the bags. 5L seems a tad slimmer. Zippers. The 5L can go only one way. The 3L has two zippers, so it works with left or right shoulders. Another thing about these zippers, they move much easier than the 5L. They feel more substantial, and they look more substantial too. Yeah, the 5L, it's kind of hard to move around, but the 3L, you can see that this is much thicker, and it moves a lot more freely, which I like. I mean, sometimes this 5L can get really stiff, and it's just hard to get things in and out because of it. I mean, it's a great bag so far, but I do like the idea of minimizing and going to an even smaller system. The big reason why I went with the 3L are these bottom attachments. So you can see the bottom attachments, they clip on, so they don't easily come loose. The downside to this is that taking them apart, you have to push them up, which is kind of not very intuitive. I'd rather have something like a little pull latch or something to get it out, but it does stay in place very good. And if you don't plan on carrying anything, you can take this off entirely, and I think it looks great. It's very minimal, these little latches. So the big reason why I got this is to have a gimbal friendly setup that I can run and gun just really quick and easily. So this is my run and gun setup. I have this gimbal attached to me all the time, and when I'm ready to record, I'm already balanced, everything is ready to go. It works very well. So I'm gonna mount the camera on here how I would actually carry it around and have carried it around. Okay, this is the camera, gimbal, and my setup. This is the complete setup for my run and gun filming. I like to put it on my waist. Really comfortable to walk. So I have it configured on my shoulder. This is where I would typically have it on my shoulder, this length. And when I convert it to a waist pack, I simply tighten it all the way. So I configure it to my waist first, and then from my waist I just loosen it for my shoulder setup. My waist, I like to hang it a little bit low. It makes it less bouncy when I'm walking around. Yeah, I look like a geek, but it's very usable. One thing that concerns me is that these clips would give one day and my camera would be on the floor. So to combat that, I've got some clips on the way that I'm gonna make a safety strap. And I'll just strap it to one of these attachment points connected with the bag. That's my failsafe. Here's how it looks like a run and gun setup that I typically like to do. I can walk around, it doesn't, when the load is off your shoulders, I mean, it feels great. I can walk all day like this. However, this setup isn't too heavy, and if you want to look more fashionable, so this is my gimbal bag setup, and I really like the idea of having a gimbal that's ready to go. So I've only used it once like this configuration, and it worked great. You see that setup wasn't very long to get ready to gimbal. I know with the electronic gimbal, the setup might be a little bit different. I'm not sure if it'll work out or not. I don't really use the Weibo that much anymore. But when I'm using this manual setup, it works pretty quick. And the reason why I use this Velcro, I may show in another video. I could use a rubber band. It'll be easier to attach this and keep this from dangling all over the place, this handle. But I use the Velcro for now because there's a little trick I have to set up for vlogging that works very well. And like that, I'm back to walking. You see, it wasn't that difficult to change to a walking configuration. And now it's out my way. It's on my back. If it's just shooting out and about for maybe an hour to 4 hours, I just carry it like this. If I'm expecting all day, morning to night, I'll carry it on my waist because it takes all the stress off of your shoulders, and your waist can carry a ton of weight. That was the Peakdesign 3L bag, and if you found this helpful, please give it a like. If you have any comments or suggestions on better gear setups, please leave it below in the comments. I would love to hear about it. I'm here just for the gear. I just really love it, and have a wonderful day.